Part of living means we have to experience pain. There's no way that we can possibly avoid it and expect to live a good life, expect to gain strength, expect to grow. In this video, you'll leave with a different perspective, a different way to look at pain, and how to actually use the pain to your advantage. Because that's what it's designed for. It almost never feels like the pain that we endure. In the moment, it seems like there's no point to it. It seems like it's just torture. Like, I'd rather not do this. And the way that our brains are biologically wired is it wants to avoid pain. It wants to take us to the safe route. It wants us to escape. The part of our brain that signals a panic response and escape response, the amygdala, the more it's listened to, the more power, influence it has over our actions, our thoughts, and our feelings. But we can train it to where it's not hyperactive, but instead our frontal lobe, where decision making lies, that drives the wheel, that drives the vehicle instead of the amygdala. First of all, we have to shift our perspective when it comes to pain and understand that pain is there to benefit us. No matter how much it sucks, no matter how excruciating or how minor, it's there to strengthen some part of us. And if we look closely enough, we'll notice a change inside of us, as well as outside of us. One thing I noticed for sure over time of doing jiu-jitsu for at least 1 year now is I noticed that I'm a lot more calm. I'm a lot more focused under pressure. In situations before that were highly uncomfortable, where there's a person maybe on top of me, maybe threatening me with a choke, I'm calm, I'm cool, collected. I'm not worried. The amygdala response inside my head doesn't override. It doesn't start screaming that we're dying, because that's what happens in the beginning of doing some kind of jiu-jitsu. You want to tap. But I forced myself to stay inside of the pain. So the first step that we must take after the shifting of a perspective is force ourselves to sit inside of the pain. Not try to numb it, not try to distract ourselves from it, but sit there and look around. If it's a room, pain is a room. Let's walk in. Let's take the flashlight and start figuring out what we can find. Today, I was in an incredibly uncomfortable position where I was on bottom, and there was a guy on top of me. I was threatening him with the choke myself, but at the same time, he had his collar grip on me right here, and it was right over the front of my throat. It was highly uncomfortable. I didn't like that sensation at all. But if you saw my face, I wasn't really making any facial expression. I wasn't worried about it. I knew it wouldn't finish me, and I knew that it wasn't something that I would need to tap to. I can get out of this. I can shift my weight a little bit. So, as we lean into the pain and we begin to look around, we expose ourselves to new insights. We expose ourselves to new information that we wouldn't access before had we distracted ourselves or ran away from the pain. There's been countless times where I did a hard workout at the gym, and then I visited the sauna, the dungeon, as I call it, where the objective is to cut out all the noise, cut out the distractions, and sit in stillness in an uncomfortable environment, and find that point where I want to hear the voice of weakness that comes up inside of me and says, we need to get out of here. It's time to leave. I'm looking for that. That's the kind of mindset that we have to adapt, is I'm looking for that voice of weakness that arises telling me I need to escape so I can dissect it, analyze it, see what I can learn, see what I can figure out. Why is this my default response? Under pressure, can I control my thoughts? Can I control what direction my mind goes? Or do I crumble underneath the weight and then exit, run away? The second I see that impulse that comes up and says, I need to stop, I need to get out, I say, hold on. Let's just see what happens. Let's just wait this out a bit. In those moments, that's when we truly grow. It's always the last reps that make the biggest difference. I challenge you to shift your perspective, shift your mindset, and then also to lean into the pain. Not in a masochistic way, but to see what you could just find out about you, about life. There's lessons to be learned and lessons to be taught. If you got something from this video, subscribe to the channel for more. There's shorts coming all the time and long forms as well. Consider turning on the notifications, liking the video, commenting something, maybe even going as far as subscribing to my newsletter, thevoiceofstrength.com, where I post an edition where it's a 1-minute read to start off the day right at 6 a.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And with that being said, I thank you for watching it until this point, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.